I'm Elyn Koentopp-Vanek, and this is Why Do Bad Things Happen on Beautiful Days? It's handmade paper cutouts and gouache on my own handmade flax paper. This piece evolved. The subject determined a new way of working for me. Rita, my friend and neighbor of 30 years, sold her house that she'd lived in for 40 years and had raised her sons in. She didn't know the buyer was going to be tearing the house down. It came down on July 13th, and I spent the entire day documenting. I knew there was going to be a piece in its destruction. When I looked at the photos, they were too graphic and didn't express how I felt, and certainly how I knew Rita felt. I just started thinking about the wrecker, how it moved windows and doors, and how you could see the sky through the roof and the windows. The ceiling fan of the bedroom was visible, even though you could see the sky at the same time. I just started cutting out pieces of the house and moving them around the paper. It was a bit cathartic. I hope when Rita finally gets to see this in person, she'll feel the same way. This is Season's Diary. It's gouache on my own handmade flax paper. It's a series of small snapshots, views of my backyard from windows of my house and in the yard. I started it as a challenge to myself because I wanted to work smaller, faster, and looser. I wanted to capture the moment. I think of it as a never-ending series of the mundane things that I see daily. In the process of painting them, they become profane. There is one painting in the group that is of the water at my family's Klinger Lake house. The rest are of my backyard, and it seems as if each day brings a new view. The winter paintings ended up being more detailed and controlled because the light changed so quickly I had to use photographs as well as the view out my window. In the bottom row, I used one of the fall paintings and then created different variations of it. This one is Chicago Skyway. It's mixed media on Mylar. I feel the transparency of Mylar lends an ethereal dimension to the work along with the layering of different drawing and painting materials. I've been painting Chicago's movable bridges for some time. Bridges cross both boundaries, real and metaphoric. These are the lift bridges on the east side of the Chicago Skyway as it crosses the Calumet River. It's the bridge that links my home in Chicago to my family's Klinger Lake house in Michigan. It was a magical place for my children and a refuge for me. I've taken this trip hundreds of times and always watched as we quickly passed the lift bridge trying to figure out just what it was. Finally, one day on a lunch break at Chicago Vocational High School, I drove over to 95th and Calumet to get a good view of the bridge and discovered it was in fact 3 lift bridges. The contrast of bridges over water with nature being pushed back and yet always getting a foothold remind me of man's imposition on our earth and our impact on it. It reminds me that unless we change our ways, this bridge will crumble and nature will be victorious in the end. This is Alley Landscape, and it's acrylic on Mylar. I wake every morning with this post in view. I love to watch how the light reflects off the wires. The scene changes with the seasons and with the time of day as the sun moves from east to west. It's a typical sight in any Chicago alley, a mundane view made profane by its being noticed and recorded. The quality of Mylar adds to the feeling of the passage of time. This is Reflection, oil pastel on my handmade flax paper. It's a close-up of part of the reflection of the tower on the long pier at Montrose Beach. I go there often. I feel like it's my personal refuge when I need a nature fix. This one is May 17th. It's an oil pastel on Andrea Peterson's handmade hay paper. I saw this view out my window and wanted to try capturing its essence on the paper I'd purchased from Andrea. I liked using the rough texture of the paper to complement the bright sunny spring day.